Hey everyone, it's us again. Welcome back to the Post-Crisis Comics. This is, of course, the Brave and the Bold edition. I'm your co-host, not Randy, but Cookie, the handsome one. And the other side over there is the other co-host.
Hi, it's Randy here, trying not to be frustrated and throw my computer out the window because we have had 45 minutes of technical issues since we started recording this video. Good times. If you're a first-time viewer, welcome. Please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that bell notification icon so you can be notified next week when we upload our next episode, because seriously, we put a lot of work into these.
Yes, smash that button the way he wants to smash that computer right now.
Mhm.
Um, Also, you know what? Hey, it does sound like a small thing to do, but it does help the channel grow, and we would appreciate it. So, any help out, we're welcome to that. If you're not a first-time viewer, though, we want to welcome you back because we're always helpful, or we're always thankful to have you here. That's the word I was looking for. Um, yeah.
And please be advised, we will be talking about spoilers in the issue we are discussing today. I am so incredibly excited, and I will just admit right now that we are discussing a comic book that I am just a huge, huge fan of. Today we are talking about Absolute Batman #1, written by Scott Snyder, with art by Nick Dragotta, color by Frank Martin, and a cover by Nick Dragotta and Frank Martin. And let's talk about this cover because wow, what an awesome cover. This cover has become iconic at this point, with probably 30 or more different comics doing their own version of it with their own characters. Originally, when I saw this cover, I did not like this version of Batman, especially with that thick Batman logo on his chest. But it has really grown on me since. This cover is actually really well thought out and offers lots of previews of what Batman can do with his bat suit throughout the book.
So yeah, I'm kind of on the same page. Like when I first saw this cover, I was a little off put. It wasn't so much the costume; it's the fact that he looks like a steroid induced freak at this point. I mean, he looks like the kind of guy you would have saw in wrestling in the '80s that had veins on top of veins, and you just knew that there was a needle in his ass at some point in his life. But the it does grow on you, and I like that it kind of sets up for like what you're going to be seeing in the book. It kind of what's the palette, so to speak, for Dragata's art. I'm hoping I said the name right that time. I'm glad you said it first because I would have screwed it up.
I believe he gets a long O, Dragotta, is how I've heard it
Dragota.
pronounced. Yeah.
Okay, so Dragota.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm actually, it's really growing on me. I'm a little bit more interested in it now.
So we go to the first page. I love the Bats Are Crazy opening. And I also love how they use the coloring on this page to indicate that it's a flashback. That's really well played, Frank Martin. Um, and I also dig that we immediately recognize this is Bruce Wayne due to his reaction to the bat habitat. And this is just a really perfect opening page. We see they're at the Gotham Zoo. So, knowing this version of Batman takes place in Gotham, just like our main universe does.
Yeah, it's kind of a different opening. I wasn't expecting to start off with a flashback, but it makes sense that you would start off with a flashback. Uh, it, I'm I was curious of why are we starting at the zoo. I was like, where, not knowing what we're getting into here with this whole new universe kind of thing. There's a lot of things that are unexpected that you don't know the full direction of what's happening. So there was a lot of me going, okay, what's going on here? What is this going to tie into stuff with? So the zoo thing was kind of interesting. Of okay, I'm curious why we're starting with a flashback of him at the zoo. I do like you said, the coloring. The flashback coloring is amazing, and I almost wish we would have got that throughout the entire book because I love that kind of faded look to the coloring. That was super cool. I understand why we couldn't get it. We have to separate flashback from main
Hmm.
story. But I don't know. It's like when you give me that to begin with, and then we go to the main coloring, I'm kind of like a little let down.
Yeah, well, I can see where you're coming from. So on the next page, we see the silhouette of a gun. Absolute Batman the Zoo, part 1 of 5. Now we know Batman's parents are going to get killed. It's not much of a Batman story without that plot point, even if this is a different universe. And this 2-page splash tells us right away where we're headed. It's doing a really good job of setting those expectations. Um, Details in the gun are on point. I love the way the clouds in the background are a little more abstract because, it's kind of almost you're remembering, it's a memory, giving us that indication that this is in the past still.
Yeah, it's I just can't stop focusing enough on the coloring. To me, it's just like until you brought it up, it didn't hit me until now. Of there's something about it that makes Dragotta's artwork really pop, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what I like about it is that it really meshes well with his style, and I like that. If you can find a good colorist and a good inker and people that can kind of make your style look even better, polish it to almost like perfection, that's like a very rare thing in comics. We've seen that as we've been covering Swamp Thing that you get the wrong inker, the wrong colorist, the wrong artist, you get the wrong combination, and you can have a poor book.
Exactly. And then, so we move on to the next page, and with the color change, we realize that this page is representing present day, and we get to witness someone writing in their diary. This person is familiar with Gotham, but feels that Gotham's heart has been hollowed out. Through a news report, we get an introduction also to the party animals.
Uh, Honestly, this part didn't surprise me at all. I mean, like the diary thing, it is what it is. Like, obviously, where there's a mystery, who's the person writing the diary, all that kind of stuff. But the big, like, non-surprise to me was Gotham is riddled with crime. It's a terrible place.
Um,
Okay,
Sorry.
like that's Gotham. That's like no matter what universe you're in, Gotham is a crap hole. So there we go.
Yep, we even got to see Gotham back in Jonah Hex's day, and it was a crap hole back then too. In the New 52 comics. Anyway, so I love the little throwback here to Dark Knight Returns, because a lot of Dark Knight Returns was reporting on the TV about what was going on in Gotham. And I think this is a little nod to that right here. This book has a lot of nods to Dark Knight Returns, I think.
It's got a lot of nods to a lot of previous Batman stuff, and um, a lot of times you get that when a new creative team gets on a book. Sometimes, especially with Batman, they will always kind of name drop previous artists, writers, things like that, which is always interesting to me. But I like you said that the reporting thing. I think it's funny because I want to say a few episodes back on one of the Swamp Things, we talked about that. We
Mm-hmm.
talked about the whole Dark Knight thing and how I think I even brought up how you're not seeing that done as much anymore with the reporting. And boom, here we are with Absolute Batman.
Yep. And then on the next page, we learn that we are reading Alfred Pennyworth's diary. We also learn that Alfred has intelligence and or possibly military connections. And he has stored some gear here in Gotham. As he's going into his little storage area, we see that he has actually chained up his motorcycle to make sure that it stays where it's supposed to be. Foreshadowing.
I was going to say definite foreshadowing there. Um, I I liked the fact that finding out that Alfred was going to be our kind of window into this universe and this version of Batman. That was kind of a cool idea. And the military thing I enjoyed a lot because of the fact that it's brought up a lot throughout many adaptations and other comics that Alfred does have a military background. We very rarely ever get to see him like as the badass that you kind of expected him maybe to be. So I kind of felt like this time was like, all right, we're going to see a much different Alfred. This is going to be the Alfred that I think you wanted to see in the military that you never got to see. He's not going to be the old bald guy sipping tea and calling everyone, Master Bruce and Master Dick and Master. There could be a perverted joke in there, but I'm going to leave it alone. But
Masturbator.
exactly. Uh, but
I couldn't leave it alone.
yeah. But so it's like it's nice to see a different version of Alfred. Sometimes we do see him get younger, but I feel like this is going to be the version that we get to see him, Jason Statham, playing Alfred, kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing.
And then on the next page, we see that a retinal scan gets Alfred into a living space with a lot of guns. He tries to contact his daughter, who at one time lived in Gotham. He's not sure if she's still there, and on top of that, he hasn't seen her in a very long time. It actually makes me pretty sad for Alfred that he and his daughter aren't close. It makes me kind of wonder what he did to push her away.
Yeah, there was actually kind of a few questions I had here. Like one, I'm kind of curious of like who Alfred exactly is working for. I'm kind of curious of like where we're going with that. What is the deal with the daughter? I don't remember in the main universe if he ever had a daughter or not.
I don't
This is
recall hearing about one.
Yeah, so this is kind of a new little concept. And is she going to come back as somebody? Like we know, like in Marvel, when they do the Ultimate Universe, the original Ultimate Universe, you had like a lot of deviant variations on characters and how they would be connected to each other and stuff like that. So are we getting that with Absolute? Is like Alfred's daughter going to turn out to be somebody that we know?
Hmm. I hadn't thought about that, but you make a good point. It's going to be interesting to see if we see more of her in the future. So Alfred, we find out Alfred is here to in Gotham to gather information on the party animals, but not engage with them. He was pulled out of what he considers to be a very important mission to be here. And I wonder if we will ever get any follow up on what was happening in Singapore. Spoiler alert, we will before the issue is over. We also find out that the party animals are particularly nasty. They've caused the murder rate in Gotham to go up by 700%. I mean, Gotham was already, as we mentioned, a crap hole, but to have it go up by 700%, they literally danced outside a daycare that they'd set on fire. It appears they have very little regard for small children. And we then find out that there is another player in the game, one who runs around looking like a bat. Could it be the man this book is named after? Either way, Alfred is told to only observe the other player, not engage.
With that smug response that you just used there, with the like, maybe it's going to be Batman, maybe it's not going to be Batman. I'm not going to lie, I would be damn happy if like we get halfway through the book and you find out it's like Man Bat or something like that.
That would have
Like
been awesome. But
I would have loved that.
I don't think the book would be as popular as it is if it was. So Alfred steps outside and sees that his motorcycle has been stolen. That chain is broken. The look of anger and anguish that we see in both the far away and the close-up shots of his face are just perfection. They are awesome. I love this page. It is very well composed with 3 panels, small, big, small, and just he's like, I hate this effing town.
I feel like that's a common like thought throughout most of the people who live in Gotham, is that they hate this town. I feel like at this point, regardless of like what universe you are in, you're only in Gotham because you have to be in Gotham. You cannot afford to get out of Gotham. Like no one wants to live there at this point because it's just like I said, a crap hole. I mean, like feels like the kind of place that you're going to get mugged just getting up from the living room to the bathroom. Like someone's just going to pop out of the dark and mug you.
Right? So then next we see a random gym patron wailing away on a punching bag at Croc's gym in Crime Alley. And I love the startled look on this guy's face as somebody comes up and says, I think it's my turn.
That was kind of interesting because I don't know why, but I was expecting that person who was punching the bag to be Bruce Wayne and Batman. And in the moment there was, excuse me, I think it's my turn. I was like, okay, no, that's not. This is going to be Bruce Wayne. This is going to be
Yep.
Batman.
Yeah, and I think that was the whole point of this page is you think this is going to be Bruce Wayne. And then on the next page, we see our first look at Bruce, and he is huge. Seriously, how does this guy expect to hide his secret identity when he is that freaking big? He starts beating on the punching bag so hard, other folks in the gym are taking note of him. This guy is like not low key.
No, he's not. Like this is feels like this should be the worst kept secret in the entire absolute DC universe. Is who is Batman? Is like, well, it's Bruce Wayne, obviously. I mean, like you bring up the fact that he's gigantic and everything, but it's not just the fact that he's gigantic. How many people in that universe have this huge body and this tiny little head? Like, I mean, his head is so small that it's like no wonder he doesn't know how to be subtle because he doesn't have the brains for it.
I don't know. I think at least in these panels, his head is pretty proportional. It may change later, but I think it's okay here.
And this one panel that's his like superpower that they forgot to mention is absolute Batman has a superpower. His head shrinks and grows.
I do also want to take note of the sound effects on this page. You know, that's one of my favorite things is the sound effects, and they're used really well on this page, especially that thoom on the bottom where he like is almost cracking the bag in half. Um, really, really cool sound effects. Nice work on the part of Dragotta.
They're good, but I'm not gonna lie. I already miss the schlucks from Swamp Thing. Like we need a good schluck in Absolute Batman.
On the next page, I really like the way the panels look here. We see an indication from the coloring that we are flashing between the present and the past. The past being Bruce's trip to the zoo that we witnessed back on page 1, and the present where he is punching the punching bag. And Bruce is really taking out his anger on that bag. And again, really good sound effects on this page. We see a conversation between Bruce and his teacher and learn that the teacher is also Bruce's father. I love the little callback to Earth 1, Batman, where his father asks Bruce if he's excited for the movie tonight. The film is the same where Bruce's parents met. And then a shot rings out, and we see Bruce's father with a very worried look on his face.
This really caught me off guard. Like when I read this part, I was like, okay, I've got a feeling we are getting a bit of a different twist on the origin. Like it's like everyone knows the origin. His parents are gunned down after a movie in Crime Alley. Batman's origin. Now it's like, okay, it looks like we may have something happening at the zoo, and we haven't even seen the mother yet. So where is the mother coming in on all? So like, I'm really curious how he's going to handle this.
Quick trivia question for you. What movie did they go see on Earth 1 that they got shot after?
The Mask of Zorro.
Yep, perfect. I'm a Zorro fan. Don't want to get too off topic, but I've been a Zorro fan longer than I've been a Batman fan because of the TV shows I used to see where he would swipe the Z across. And then when I found out Batman, probably one of my favorite superheroes, also, is very closely tied to Zorro, I was like, that's freaking awesome. Anyway, so Bruce breaks the bag with an awesome punch. Once again, Dragotta really knows how to use sound effects here to tell the story really well. We are introduced to Waylon Jones, who is Killer Croc from Earth 1. And he happens to be hauling around some reptiles with him. So he's living up to his name in Croc's gym. Waylon wants to open an exotic pet store. Ozzy, as in Oswald Cobblepot, aka the Penguin on Earth 1, has hooked Waylon up with an exotic pets license, and Bruce is worried Ozzy is going to get busted for it. Really good art on this page. I especially love the detail that Dragotta put into that crocodile's head. It is just so detailed and looks so cool. I love it.
Yeah, no, the artwork is like just really good. They're doing an amazing job on the artwork on this. It grows on me the more and more I get into the book. Um, I gotta be honest though, I didn't pay as close attention to the artwork as much as the story with this one, just because all the deviations from things that are happening, I'm really interested again because it's like, okay, so apparently a lot of the people that are going to become his main rogues gallery are his friends. That's
Hmm,
interesting twist. I like that.
definitely.
And of course, the Waylon Jones thing is like, I get why they had the crocodile with him because it's like, okay, yeah, probably the average reader may not pick up on that this is Killer Croc, but I feel like 90% of the audience that is reading this are diehard comic book fans. You just say Waylon Jones, and they're like, ah, Killer Croc, okay.
I'm gonna counter that because Batman's Absolute Batman seems to be bringing a lot of new readers into the comic book store. Our local comic book store, I've had several discussions with Megan, the owner's wife. She's the one who does all the comic book ordering, and she says that the Absolute Batman is the best-selling comic that they have had in their store since they took it over, and they took it over probably like 15 years ago. Um, so I think giving these nods to the new readers to kind of help them get who people are is actually a really good thing, and it's a really good idea because at least locally, anecdotally, we're seeing new people at the comic book shop that have never been there before, and they are there for Absolute Batman.
Yeah, I don't know where in my previous statement I said it wasn't a good idea. I just said it's just funny that, like, okay, that the average audience, the people who normally read it, we automatically know, but the new readers, yes, they're going to need a little guidance.
It was the 90% figure that you threw out because I think that the leaps and bounds that it's grown by, it's probably like half of the new readership or new readers.
Hi, I'm Cookie. I'm a smartass. Have we met?
So we get the confirmation that Ozzy, Waylon, and Bruce are all friends, which I think is a really cool departure from the main universe. We also get a lot of other names dropped. Eddie, who's the Riddler from Earth 1, Harvey, who is Two-Face from Earth 1, and Selina, who is Catwoman from Earth 1. We get another example of how brutal the party animals are. They tied a mom and baby to the bumper of the car, and nothing else is really elaborated on. They kind of cut that one off, probably on purpose, because it needed to remain a teen-rated book. Bruce leaves an angry Waylon behind, and we see a picture of Bruce and his friends as kids. I love the detail of Selina having cat ears. So much foreshadowing, so many Easter eggs on this page. Such a great page.
It was really kind of cool with that. Like I noticed the cat ears too. And then the fact that it's like, okay, we already know they're friends, but then to show the childhood picture to show that okay, they're not just friends, they're childhood friends. They've grown up for years together, and that is it's setting up for like we know what's going to happen. Like even if you're a new reader to Batman, you know who the villains are. You may not be familiar with the names, but you know who the villains are, and you automatically know they're going to become villains. Like we're not going to get a universe where Harvey Dent isn't going to become Two Face or any all this stuff. So it just sets up for that more. We know it's going to be heartbreaking. I like
Mm.
I trust Snyder to just completely kick me in the nuts with like how painful it's going to be watching this friendship fall apart.
Mm.
Uh, and I actually kind of smiled at that. Like, all right, man, I like here you've got me. do what you want with me, man.
So we switch to Gotham Harbor, where we have a yacht, and it looks like that there is a party going on. The leaders of Gotham's crime families meet Roman Sionis, the leader of the party animals, on his yacht. They tell Sionis to leave town by dawn, or they are going to kill him and his gang. Then Roman's wife shows off how she collects death masks. Oh, but some of those masks that she shows off are members of the crime family's actual family. Then we see the bosses of the crime families brutally murdered. It's pretty messed up that Roman's own kid is participating in this killing. And that kid did not look all that old when we saw the kid standing next to mom.
No, this was interesting to me because for like a couple of reasons. One, I automatically know, like, I think even before they said the name Roman, I think if I remember right, we saw like a picture of what he kind of looked like in the mask and everything. So putting two and two together, I know who the villain is. I was like, all right, I know who this is. And I was not too excited because I don't like this villain that much. But now knowing like kind of what they're doing with him, I was like, okay, this is kind of intriguing because you're taking to me who I feel is like a D-list villain. Probably some people will consider him high or maybe B-list, something like that. I don't think he's ever on an A-list here. But they're taking a lower level kind of villain and they're making him a little bit more darker, more intriguing, definitely more dangerous. And I'm kind of here for this. All right, Snyder, let's see what you can do here. The death mask thing was very interesting too, because again, we ended up like the two names of the people that he killed were it was Falcone and I forget what was the other name. It was another crime boss. But it was like basically the two main crime families. Yeah, Maroni, thank you. So Falcone and Maroni, the two main crime boss villains that you see in every Batman adaptation out there. Nolan used them. Batman animated series used them. Like, boom, first issue. All right, we're not going that direction, guys. Mafia families dead. We're going way more hardcore.
Yep.
I loved it. He set it up for like, we're not getting your grandfather's Batman. This is like, no, this is Batman on drugs.
Not yet. That happens later. Don't spoil it. So we see Batman don his cowl for the first time, in between details of how brutal the party animals are. Jim Gordon, mayor of Gotham, is holding an emergency town hall to discuss what to do about the party animals. Batman takes off. And you know what? That's where we're going to stop the show for tonight. Sorry, folks. You'll have to tune in on the next episode to see our continuing thoughts on it. But I'll put it out there right now. I am really enjoying this issue so far.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I don't think anyone's going to be surprised. It's not going to be like a bait and switch of like, hey, guess what? This thing sucked. No, I think we all know we loved it. So.
All right. So for part 2, same bat time, same bat channel next week. We look forward to seeing you.
All right, everyone. We're going to thank you for joining us tonight. We are really glad to have you here, as always, watching with us. In case you cannot tell, we are doing this because we absolutely love comic books.
Yes, we do. Please join us on our Patreon when we have our post-crisis comics book club for our members. We have great comics conversations with our members. We show off our hauls. We let you see some funny uncensored video clips. I know those are a big thing that people are really enjoying. And you can also find us on Blue Sky. The link is down in the description. And one really cool thing I've been doing on the Patreon lately is I've been putting up my my Ashcan reviews. You get to see them in a text format before the videos come out. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's actually kind of cool. One of these days, I'm going to hopefully be able to get on the Patreon. If you can figure out how to get me on there without me having to pay for it. But anyways, also, hey, you know what? Speaking of descriptions, you know, don't forget our Amazon affiliate page. You know, if you click on that, hey, you can end up buying the trade of what we are reading tonight. You know, Absolute Batman trade is out there. Pick it up. And you know what's really cool about that? If you use that Amazon affiliate page, it's going to kick some of that money back to us. That's right. We get some of that purchase, but you don't get to pay any extra. You're paying the same price. We're just getting a little bit of that money.
Exactly. It really does help the channel out. Also, on your way out, if you could give this video a like, you know, subscribe to the channel. If you happen to be one of those lucky few who get that hype button on the bottom, if you could hit that hype button, all of those things will really help us grow, and it helps support the channel.
Definitely. And then lastly, we want to give a shout out to our editors. S in there, two of them now.
Yes.
We've got the Nacho King, and
We've also got Nick. Nick, you're awesome, dude, for coming on and helping us to make this show better, and helping to take a little bit of that workload off of Nacho. We really, really appreciate you, dude.
definitely, yes, it helps out a lot. I feel like we need to give Nick a nickname too. Nickname Nick.
Nickname, Nick.
All right. All right. So what do we want for the closer tonight?
May all of your comic book pulls be as awesome as Absolute Batman #1.
All right. I'm cool with that. I'm okay with that one.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.